Hello and welcome to the second episode of my vlog. Second vlog. So they announced there's going to be an E3 2021. It's going to be all virtual, all digital. So let's talk E3. All right, so just jumping right into it, guys. They did say they were going to get an E3 this year. We didn't get an E3 last year because of the, world shutting down for, what seemed like genocide or a Last of Us situation with mushroom people. But yeah, we're getting E3 coming back. And the question I think everyone has is, do we need an E3? I think so. I think E3 is worth having, especially as a digital format now that just about everybody has taken to doing some sort of digital presentation in one form or another. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with E3. It did get a little inflated and there was some negativity around E3, but you got to understand that E3 it's a conference for developers and tech studios to be able to show off what they're working on. And it was more meant for journalists to go to and see what was on presentation and to share that with the world. It's only been in the last few years that it's been more open to the public and for everyone to be able to come and check out and see what's happening at E3. But me as a gamer, as a fan of everything that is out there, I've always really enjoyed E3. I've always loved watching like a live stream of it. Shit, I can remember back in like 2005, I had bought a DVD of the E3 from the year prior, and I would watch that shit like as a movie almost. I would sit down and watch the E3 presentations because it meant that much to me to see everyone's presence on stage and their performances that they gave, and then you get to like the technical talks where they're talking numbers and business, and it's like, okay, fast forward, I don't want to watch this part. But I think E3 is important. I think moving forward, E3 can evolve with the changing times, and I think it'll better us all. I think we can all get something more out of it. So that being said, E3 is coming this year on June 12th, Saturday, and will run for 4 days until Tuesday, June 15th. If you didn't already know, the confirmed partners that will be appearing at E3 are going to be Xbox, Nintendo, Capcom, Konami. We'll get into that in a minute. Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Brothers, and Koch Media. I had to look this up. Koch Media is a German studio that is the parent company of Deep Silver. Yep, Deep Silver. That's the studio that publishes a lot of they did Dead Island and also Metro. So Deep Silver is a pretty good developer, and I think they're the ones that are working on Dying Light 2, which is definitely going to be one to look out for this year, and hopefully Dying Light actually gets released. I'm waiting for that one. And then most recently, Square Enix reportedly said that they're going to make an announcement at E3 as well, even though they aren't on the list of attendees, essentially. It's going to be interesting to see. They're saying it's going to be 4 days of nonstop streaming content. So I expect a lot of filler, a lot of fluff. There's going to be a lot of Twitch streamers and YouTubers sitting down and bullshitting and talking about a bunch of crap and doing a really bad job reading scripted material. And those are going to be the bits I don't watch. But when Xbox and Nintendo and Capcom and Ubisoft make their presentations, I'm definitely going to be watching. I know with Xbox, they've got a lot coming. So I'm going to be watching very impatiently, waiting for some big news. I'm sure we're going to see the likes of Halo Infinite and the progress they might be making with that. They're probably going to show off some new stuff for Forza. We're probably going to get a lot of announcements and release dates for this coming year and next year. All very exciting stuff. Very much looking forward to hearing some updates on Fable and Starfield and any of the other Bethesda projects that are now Microsoft specific. And I'm really, really, really hoping to hear some news about Hellblade, because I'm waiting for Hellblade 2. I'm excited for that. anyways, so I think the big one here that really struck me that I wanted to talk about was Konami. Konami hasn't made a game in like 4 years. I think the last thing they did was the Metal Gear Survive after Kojima left, which failed miserably, and I don't know if anyone really played that game. Konami since then, as a gaming developer and studio, not talking about their other properties because they do a lot of other shit too. Like Konami's got this massive like arcade and gambling and card thing going on in Japan that's not really relevant over here in the States. But Konami, I'm curious. I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing coming on to an E3 press conference and talking to us about what they might be doing, because shit, Konami hasn't done anything in a long time, and now they don't have Kojima. Kojima was their bread and butter when it came to game development. I did find in research for this topic, find that Konami has apparently filed new trademarks for not only Castlevania, but Metal Gear Rising, which makes me wonder. Konami did put out a Castlevania collection recently. They did that Contra, kind of weird one-off Contra that came out. I guess I should say Contra was the last one they made, but I don't know if anyone really remembers that game. It came out like 2 years ago. But anyways, Konami's just been in the dark, and I feel like they've had a big weird black spot when it comes to games. And honestly, as a fan of some of their bigger franchises, I feel completely disserviced that they haven't been living up to a lot of those, or they haven't allowed other people to take the trademarks. But if they're going to come to E3 with Castlevania news and Metal Gear Rising news, that could be interesting and exciting. Hopefully good things to look forward to with those franchises. I personally want more Castlevania like DS games, the old school style but new modern takes on Castlevania. Those games are amazing. If you haven't played the DS Castlevania games, you're missing out. Metal Gear Rising was a great game, but that was of course developed by Platinum Games, and I'm wondering if they're gonna return to Platinum Games and maybe continue that series, or they're just gonna keep regurgitating collections and or remasters, which I'm not that excited for. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They definitely have a lot of other things under their name that I'd like to see. Maybe Silent Hill, the PT, which if it comes back, it's not going to be PT, but Silent Hill for 1 would be a good one to make a return. So yeah, E3, who knew they would survive? But here's hoping that let's hope it does what it's supposed to do. And I'm excited. And I mostly look forward to some of the bigger announcements coming from like Xbox and Capcom and Nintendo. I'm sure both of those three are going to have some big news to share with us. And lastly, I think if Ubisoft does not bring back Splinter Cell, what the hell are they doing? Yeah. This has been Deadpan Dan's vlog, episode 2. See you later.